So, today I got something a little different. I'm taking a break from the Integra. I got a buddy whose son has a Honda Civic Si 2006, and he needs a trans rebuild. The car is super clean, low mileage, low-ish, 145 for this year. It's, like I said, 06. You know, it makes a little bit of noise from the release bearing, and I was told it crunches going into gear, 2-3. So we're gonna go drive it, make sure it does actually have some issues, you know, experience it. That way we're not missing anything. We're gonna pull it in, drop the trans, take it apart, inspect it. I got synchros from Synchrotech and some bearings. We're gonna get it all replaced. And then, yeah, put it back in, get it back on the road, and get back on the Integra. So like I said, look at the pearl white. Super clean. I mean, down to the wheels. The owner's dad is a friend of mine, and he's always been real meticulous with his stuff. I mean, always takes care of it. If you bring your car to get worked on, this is how you do it, by the way. You don't just put a car cover on it, you put one of the nice ones on it. But yeah, steering wheel's a little beat. You can always fix that, but like, look at the interior. Seats are almost perfect. No trash anywhere. Just, I mean, a perfect jam. So, I'm excited for this one. Let's get it down. So you can already tell when you go to push the clutch in, it's not happy. Yeah. So, and we know the clutch is shot, but I really want to see what that 2-3 gear feels like. Get an idea of what we're dealing with. And get it on the road, take it down the block, turn it around, put it back in the garage. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Well. There we go. Clutch is hurt. Alright. First gear is not bad. First gear feels pretty good. Really upset release bearing. This is why you take it easy on your first gear clutch in when you're sitting in a light or when you're hanging out. You want to make sure you always have your foot off the clutch pedal unless you're absolutely using it. Because over time you get this. Well, it's actually calming down right now. It's a cold issue. Alright, let's see what it does. So 1 to 2 is pretty good. No real issues there. Clutch is a little bit shot, but not horrible. So 1, 2 good. Let's see, 2, 3. 2, 3 okay. Not that bad. Might be mostly a clutch. So yeah, just got done driving. Drives really good. A little slow, needs a turbo, but I mean the engagement in all gear is good. You know, that's not to say that there wasn't some issues with you know, when it warms up, or maybe something I'm missing over an extended period, but like outside of some obvious clutch issues, I don't see anything that suggests we've got a damaged transmission, or at least maybe I'm just jaded from all the just massacred transmissions I'm used to putting in cars. I don't know. I'm gonna get with the owner, see what he wants to do. Chat. Okay, I got it racked up. I haven't pulled instructions, but I've done a bunch of these, so I'm just gonna give it a shot, and if I get stuck, I'll check the work instructions, but we're talking about a trans, so it shouldn't be too crazy. It's cowling, all the accessories, wheels. I think I gotta drop the subframe. I'm not fully sure on this one. Yeah, get in it. So, some surprises. She's loose, we're not there. And this one is halfway in. And then we're missing another one over here and over there. I'm not sure somebody's played around in here at the dealer at some point, but yeah, that's what you find. All right, I got most of the stuff I could get to up top taken care of. Now it's disconnected the steering column, that's done, and it's time to drop the subframe. Got all the bolts out of the lower suspension. These newer gen Civics have these little brackets here you gotta get out of the way. These use EPS, so you do have to disconnect them, but reason number 4722 why Honda's better is because everything is right there. And if you have trouble getting it from there, you can just grab it from right there. So, God bless Honda, I guess. Now it's 4 more bolts around the perimeter, and then I gotta get the front torque mount out. I already got the bottom torque mount out, and then I don't have a trans jack, which sucks, but I can break up the table. I just gotta move the bender that I'd never use. So let's get that taken care of, get the subframe dropped, and we'll get started on the trans. I'm draining the trans fluid. Looks pretty good, man. That's exactly what you want to see on 145,000 miles. Something tells me this thing's had a clutch or something, because it's not supposed to be that way. It's much darker. I mean, that almost looks brand new. So I don't think he did any kind of trans flush or anything like that. I don't typically do them on manuals, but looks great. All right, axles are out, fluid is drained, everything's done on the bottom. Now it's gonna go to the top and disconnect the top half. I'll probably actually take the trans bolts out first, but then yeah, up top, motor or trans mount out, and then it's just separating the trans. And that is about it. All right then. So we got a report. It is dusk. Case fought me. I was getting nervous separating these things because you got to put a whole ridiculous amount of pressure against the release tabs and pry it, and it just never wants to go. But yeah, you can see we definitely got some wear. Kind of hard to see. Actually, better to do it like this. Teeth are chewed. The actual selector is pretty good. Selector's pretty good. I mean, I didn't notice really any engagement problems when I drove it, but you just kind of get chewed up from driving. So I'm gonna get the stack pulled out, get everything separated, and replace synchros. Put it back. Alrighty. We got the trans all separated. I have the main shaft taken apart. I always take off in order, and that way I know what. Yeah, everything seems pretty standard. The wear is average for 140. I don't see anything too crazy. The first is a little rough, but the rest of them are okay. The one thing that's causing us problems is this guy. These don't normally fail, but I have seen them get torched before. I'm not really sure what takes them out, but the vacuum plate came off, and there were needle bearings sitting on the top of the gear when it took apart. So I've got to get this replaced. Honda should be able to get it for me. And then I got a bunch of Synchro Tech stuff and OE Honda stuff to throw back in. Pretty standard. Just the only real big deal is getting that slave replaced. So, yep, we're good.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall.
All right, just about finished, at least with the assembly. All gears going nice and smooth now. The collars do what they're supposed to do. The only real hurdle, it's not even a hurdle, but like I've got to try to address this guide, because this is what the clutch rides on, and it's just not happy. So I've got to clean all this up, make sure not to nick anything, and then get the release bearing and make sure it slides nice and smooth. I mean, the only issue is that a lot of this is melted plastic, it's not dirt. Like all this is clutch material. I've already blown the trans out as best I can. But the actual guide for the release is coated in molten plastic from just overheating because the bearing was shot. So it's not as easy as cleaning. I'm gonna have to like essentially polish it, which isn't crazy tough, but it's just annoying. So I'm gonna get that done and get it moving. All right, so I did actually do some cleaning. I started on this and then just wanted to get more dust out. I've got it mostly cleaned up. It's hard to tell, but you can kind of see some grooves that have been worn into the guide. I mean, it's my understanding that to get this part out, you would need to replace the case. And I'm just not used to seeing these grooves. I don't know if they belong. They don't seem like they would because this is meant to slide. I'm gonna get some grease on there and get the release bearing on there. And it's probably fine. I mean, as long as it's greased up and the bearing is healthy, it shouldn't cause problems. And if it starts to cause problems, then the bearing's already on its way out anyway. Is my understanding. I don't know. I'm going off of what makes sense here. But I might just be overthinking it. I mean, the grooves are really, really tiny. I just don't want to cause any kind of... there's a possibility they're supposed to exist there because they seem pretty pronounced. But I haven't ever actually seen that before and really looked this close. But I mean, this transmission is supposed to be really a nice long ride. So yeah, got it cleaned up, guide cleaned up. Everything should be happy. I'm gonna pop that seal out, replace it, and then throw in my nut. I wanted to flip it over and drop the stack to make sure that the C-clip engages into the stack, or else you're gonna have problems, and it did engage, so we're good. So I can throw some more TV on there, throw it back in the trans, replace that last axle seal, and pop it back in the car. Yeah, so I just spent the past 4.5 hours trying to muscle this thing up by myself. You know, I've taken these things out a million times, and I just realized I've always pulled the motor, but I didn't feel like pulling the motor, so I tried doing it with my stomach, the jack. I'm gonna use the cherry picker, the table, and even my stool, which it's like right there. None of it worked. It's all horrible. So here's my new transmission jack, $179 from Northern Tool. Not a bunch of great reviews, referred to as a death trap by some concerned individuals, but we'll see. You can give it a shot, see if this works.